This 2009 Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Custom needs new tires, front and rear. Now I could take this in and just have the shop pull the wheels, replace the tires, and do all the hard work for me. But there's a bit of a waiting list to get that done, so I'm going to save myself some time and some money and take the wheels off myself. I'm going to get rid of a few things while it's still on the ground. First, I'm going to get rid of these belt shrouds, this upper and lower. Well, it turns out it may not be necessary to take that out, so I'm just going to leave it right there for now. Let's go on the other side and get some brake components out of the way. To remove this caliper, all I need to do is pull these two bolts right here. Ooh. Oh! Need a little persuasion on them. While it's still on the ground, I actually want to loosen this crown nut. In order to do that, I've got to get rid of this cotter pin right here. So we'll get this straightened out. I'm just going to take the tension off of this, and hopefully I've got a wrench that will fit on there that I can do that easily with. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get out my big crescent wrench, which I hate to do, but necessity calls. Well, as anticipated, I don't have a wrench that's big enough to fit this side. The other side's a 22, and I do have a wrench for that. So we are just going to be super delicate here, and we just need to break the tension on this. I may not even need to hold that other side. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Now that I've got that loose, I'm going to get it up off the ground so that I can finish taking that off, and I should be able to pull that axle, slide that wheel right out. Now that I've got this back tire off the ground, I can go ahead and remove this crown nut and pull the axle out of the other side. Now, as you pull this axle out, there are going to be several pieces here that you want to keep track of their orientation to each other. If you have to hit the axle to budget through the hub, put the crown nut on, and even one better is flip it like this so that you basically have a surface that you can hit against and you're not going to ding up the end of your axle. If this is really tight, you may have to loosen these tension rods here, these eyelets. You'll notice that there are reference marks on the eyelet here and also on the swing arm. It's important to notice these when you're putting this back together because you want the positioning of this one to be mimicked on the other side as you tighten it. That way your axle is perpendicular in relationship to your swing arm and it doesn't cause weird wear on your bearings and your hub. I'm going to give myself just a little bit more room on here. When you loosen this, you'll start to see things move. And at some point, I should be able to get this axle out without too much resistance. Here we go. As it comes out the other side, I want to be paying attention to the spacers and anything else that's on that side of the hub. Oh, and it's heavy too. Now with the axle out, we should be able to move this forward just a little bit and get the drive belt off. Like so. Doesn't need to come all the way off. Unfortunately, my stand doesn't get my bike very high up off the ground, so I actually have to remove or just loosen the license plate bracket and see if I can finagle this thing out of here without taking anything else off of this bike. There we go. So there we have it. I've got all of my parts off of here, which really aren't that many to keep track of. You've got a spacer here that come off the brake side, and then you've got this spacer here that came off the drive side. And of course the washer for the axle, the crown nut, and several different bolts that hold the various pieces in place. So now I can take this tire and this wheel in and have it replaced. And then when I get the new tire on here, it's just going to be the reverse of the disassembly process. Hope that helped, and thanks for watching.